I need to tell y'all something. I am not having fun in life and business right now. Hey, landlords. Welcome to episode 170 of the Better Than Success podcast. I'm your girl, Nicole Purvy. And in this episode, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. First of all, as of recording this, December 18th, the Fed just maybe about an hour ago just issued their decision about rates. And we're going to talk about that. I want to break down their conversation and how it affects you as a real estate investor and small landlord. It very much so affects you. They said some very strong things that you need to be aware of. The next thing we're going to talk about is I did a post on Instagram that has my text messages and my phone jumping, okay? I don't think I got this many calls in a very long time, more than probably if it were my birthday. And I get a lot of calls on my birthday. And I'm going to talk to y'all about what I shared on social media that has everybody hitting me up and everything that happened as a result of it. Then the other thing I wanted to go over is a couple of my God, Goals, and Money journal gems. For those of you who don't know, I started sending out a newsletter with 5 important things that you need to know, just tips about how I'm running my business, reading tips, videos that are very valuable to me. And I got a couple of journal gems that I want to share with you. And I'll explain what God, Goals, and Money journal gems are when we get to that segment of the show. And the last thing I want to say is welcome to the new members of the God, Goals, and Money community. This is for you if you need to get clarity in your business and automate your income. Because one thing I talked about in the post is that how I'm not having fun in business and life right now. But guess what? My income is automated. So that takes some relief off of my life. And I need that for your life too. And so let's hop right into this.
All right. Let's go. Yes. Can never play a part, y'all start. So real, it's all so live. It's better than success from the east to the west.
The first thing we're going to talk about is this Fed rate decision. It's super important. So we got to do the important stuff first. So the Fed cut rates to 25, or they cut rates of 25 basis points. Now, if you guys remember, about 2 years ago, I used to do a show where I was documenting everything that was going on in the markets. And about 2 years ago is when they started increasing rates to slow down inflation. And the thing that the Fed was so heck bent on, I try not to say any cuss words, H-E-L-L is a curse word, right? The thing that the Fed was so heck bent on is, hey, we're going to keep raising rates until inflation cools to 2%. It has not done that. And they were so adamant, hey, we're going to do it. We don't care. We're going to keep increasing rates no matter what until we get inflation under wraps. Just for a quick refresher, inflation was up because the government pumped a lot of money into the economy as a result of COVID. Remember, they were giving out stimulus, they gave out EIDL loans, they was giving out all the loans, all the money, everything. They just started printing money to make sure that our economy didn't completely collapse. When you increase that amount of money into the marketplace, inflation gets out of control. And so they're like, hey, in order to tame inflation rate, we are going to cut interest rates. Or raise interest rates, I should say. We're going to raise interest rates in order to tame inflation. And so over the last 3 meetings, they started cutting rates, even though we hadn't reached the 2%. Their argument is that our economy is strong and all the things. What I do want to do is go over the actual press conference, the transcript of the press conference that Jerome Powell, the chair of the Fed, Jerome Powell made. I just want to go hit on a couple points, and we're going to come to a really, really, really important point that is like so important. All right. So the transcript reads, my colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goal of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people. The economy is strong overall and has made significant progress towards our goals over the past 2 years. The labor market has cooled from its formerly overheated state and remains solid. Inflation has moved much closer to our 2% longer run goal. We are committed to maintaining our economy's strength by supporting maximum employment and returning inflation to our 2% goal. Basically, hey, if I know a lot of you like it starts to be like nerd speak, but basically, hey, we're not at 2%. We're still getting there. The economy is strong. Then they go on to say, hey, because of this, we're going to make another step in reducing the degree of policy restraint by lowering our policy interest rate to 1.4 percentage points. So they're basically saying, hey, the economy has gotten under control. We're going to ease back on our tightening of policy, basically try to control it less because you guys are out here moving the way that you're supposed to be moving, and we're going to reduce our interest rates by 1/4 percentage points. Then they go on to say recent indicators suggest that economic activity has continued to expand at a solid pace. GDP rose at an annual rate of 2.6% in the third quarter, about the same pace as the second quarter. Growth of consumer spending has remained resilient, and investment in equipment and intangibles has strengthened. In contrast, activity in the housing sector has been weak. I'm going to come back to that in a minute, okay? But here's the thing. They said GDP rose at an annual rate of 2.8%, but inflation is at 2.6% or something like that. And so that means GDP only rose just like a tad bit, if anything. So keep that in mind. So for them to say like, hey, our economy is growing at a good pace, I don't know about that. But don't panic. The thing that you should be panicking about is this next statement. In contrast, activity in the housing sector has been weak, which we all know. What does that mean for you as an investor? I really want to go through everything in this statement here, but we don't have time and I don't want to bore you for this podcast. I'll post the link to read the entire statement down below for all you nerds, but I do want to talk about the housing sector and where you may need to adjust your strategy. So I did a post on social media yesterday about how I'm not having fun in business. And what I'm about to share with you is something that I've already known, but everything started coming out after I did this post. And I'm going to share you actually the audio of this post because it's really not much visual to it. So you can have some context. And as a result, I had a conversation with one of my business partners, and we were talking about, because we're moving into apartment buildings, large apartment buildings, 80 plus units. I can tell you a little more about our strategy later for our fund. But 80 plus units in a couple of key markets, and we're niching down on a particular sector. It's actually a sector that we're creating. And we were saying how the Fed is easing rates, but mortgage rates aren't coming down. And home prices are not coming down the way that they should. So inflation is slimmed down, but housing prices are still out of control. Okay? And they're still growing. So what does that mean for you as an investor? For single families, it's a tight market. You literally only have, I'm sorry if that made a noise because my mic dropped. But if you're doing single family, 1 to 4 units, you literally only have a couple of different strategies. Not only, but you just need to pivot. If you're buying deals from the MLS listed properties, or if you're buying them from a wholesaler like insider information, you need to figure out a different way, because the numbers are not going to number based off of what I'm seeing in the market and then also what the Fed is saying. Housing sector has been weak. That's not good. Why is it not good? Because 1 to 4 units, the prices and your rental income and everything that goes into those numbers is all based off of ARV. This is market conditions. When you're doing multifamilies, your mortgage rate is different and the pricing is based on the NOI. So in the regular housing sector, 1 to 4 units, the price, or let's go talk about your mortgage. Your mortgage rate is based off of market conditions. They're cutting rates, and mortgage rates aren't really coming down all that much. They're still disrespectfully high, like 6%. When things was free flowing and things was a good time, it was like at 2-3%. I'm not saying we need to go back to that. What I'm saying is this is a different time. So they're cutting rates. Mortgage rates are still staying high. They'll probably be high for a little while. We already know people can't get, the cost of owning a home is out of control. I just saw something that said the cost of the average, back in the day, the average couple got a home a few months after they got married. Now they're not getting a home until 15 years after they're getting married. So people are renting, which is because the prices are too high. If they're renting, that's great news for you as a landlord, but what kind of landlord? Apartment buildings. Or if you can't get into apartment buildings, invest in a fund. That's another conversation for another day. I ain't trying to talk y'all into investing in our fund. If you want to get our webinar, you can message me so you can learn more about our fund, but that's not the point of this conversation. So everything that's happening, the housing market is weak and it's affecting you if you're buying 1 or 4 units. But if you're investing in apartment buildings, that's a crazy win for you. That's it. We're about to move into a golden age of apartment buildings, the same way that we were in a golden age of buying 1 or 4 units from 2017 to 2022. Like, that was a golden age that I told y'all multiple times, hey, you in a unique time, you need to take advantage of this. It's not going to be like this forever. And then it wasn't like that forever. The other strategy, if you're like, hey, I don't want to do apartment buildings, the other strategy is you need to be able to find your own off-market properties. Cut out the middleman of the wholesaler. You need to be able to find your off-market properties. This is another reason why in BTS, we're focusing on wholesaling, raising private capital, in case you want to do apartment buildings, and multifamily. Because I'm not saying it ain't going to be no money to be made in single families, 1 or 4 units. Absolutely. But you need to have a strategy that makes sense. Okay? So BTS members, just to run down our schedule really quickly, starting in January, our schedule is shifting. Monday nights, every other Monday, we have accountability call. Tuesday nights, no longer in the afternoon, we're going to be doing deal analysis lab and tutoring, where we will be analyzing a multifamily, an apartment building, and a single family every single week together, so that you guys can get really, really good at it. So we're going to do both multifamily and single family, or 1 or 4 units. And then on Wednesdays, we have our I changed the name. I don't even remember the name of it. We have our deal makers, and I can't remember. It's a mastermind series where we're going to be focusing on raising private capital and wholesaling, right? Those 2 strategies. And then every other Thursday, we have our God, Goals, and Money session that is for BTS members and people in the God, Goals, and Money Income Accelerator. If you're a BTS member, you'll get access to the Income Accelerator. You'll get access to the Thursdays, but you don't get access to the 40 modules in the Income Accelerator. If you want to get access to that, I can give you a discount if you're a BTS member. It's actually on sale right now, as of recording this, it's like a holiday sale. It's normally $24.99, but it's on sale for $9.99 right now. All right. Okay, cool. So let's get into this next thing that I want to talk about, this post that I made on social media. Let me just play it for you, and then we're going to talk about it. Let me just play it. I need to tell y'all something. I am not having fun in life and business right now. Now, I want to be really clear. I am not posting this to get any type of sympathy from anybody. I have a really, really amazing support system. If y'all knew how my family and friends supported me and my prayer warriors, so I'm not trying to get any sympathy from anybody. But I wanted to make this because someone said something to me earlier today that inspired this. They said something around the idea of don't believe everything you see on social media, because people make everything look perfect. And I believe that to be true, which is why I haven't been posting. I've taken I don't even have the Instagram app on my phone right now. I stopped posting on TikTok. I really haven't been posting on YouTube all that much, for separate reasons. Like, I just needed a cleanse. And I'm glad I did, because I don't think I would have had the inspiration to do this. But when I went and looked at my page over the past year, which is when things started not being fun, when I went and looked at my page, it looked like everything was perfect. And that was never my intent, to try to act like my life looks perfect. For me personally, and this may be you as well, I don't post when I'm not feeling good, because I don't want to post. When I am feeling good, then I want to post. So it seems like, and this is probably for a lot of people, oh, you're trying to portray something. If you know me personally, then you know that ain't my style. So I'm only doing this because I want to be very transparent. I'm not here to share. I don't use social media as therapy. I don't want to share what's going on in my life. Just know that it is a really weird season for me, where amazing things are happening. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, things that are like level 20. And then at the same time, things that are negative level 20 at the same exact time are happening. It is so bizarre and such a weird season that I just really want to say this to anybody who is going through something in life right now. I want you to maybe take a break from social media. It has done wonders for my mental health, because sometimes God is trying to communicate with you through your situation. He's trying to grow you, but you can't see the lesson because your mind is so sullied with the stuff we see on social media. So you might want to take a break, because I'm going to post this and then I'm going to delete the app. So if you know me personally, unless we talk every day, you do not have to feel like you got to reach out to me. I promise y'all I'm fine. I got a really good support system. Some of the stuff that's happening, the bad stuff, some of it's my fault, some of it's not. If y'all knew some of the stuff that's going on, y'all would be like, what? Y'all would be like, what? How is that happening to... But I do want to say this. I am very grateful, overly grateful. God is so good to me. He's so good to me, even in this lesson, even in this season. This has been a very long season. Even in this season, he's so good to me. And I also want to say, someone just gave me this advice today, because a lot of people are going through it financially, but no one's talking about it. And I'm assuming that they're not talking about it on the news because they don't want to send everybody into mass panic. And I mean, people that I know with really large businesses are feeling it. People with small businesses are feeling it. It's wild with some of the stuff that people are going through right now. And for you, I want to say you're not alone. 2, here's the advice that he gave me. He said, keep doing what you're doing. Because that person was going through something. He owns a trucking business. He sells semi trucks, and so he's got friends who all do big things. So he's like, just keep doing what you're doing. And so for me, what I do is I help people get to their purpose. And so I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. BTS in full effect. Our fund that's one of the things that's doing really well right now. I have amazing partners. I'm so grateful. And to anybody who felt like I was a source of like, oh my God, look at her life, or if you a friend and know like I've been talking about, and you're like, how is she posting this? Nah, that's never the intent. And once I realized this, I realized it in the gym. I ain't left the gym parking lot. I don't got a problem with telling y'all life be lifing. And so if life is lifing, it's 2 scriptures, 2 stories. If you have extremes going on in your life, like what I'm experiencing right now, It's two stories. I'm gonna post in the chat. Sometimes I listen to the Bible app. You can just play it. Sometimes I listen to it while I'm working out. And the story about Moses putting his hands up and taking them down when Israelites were fighting the Amalekites, that moved. I don't know the story. It just was like God was like, okay, go to that story, because what it represents is the praise and the gratitude is what's going to keep the good things. It's because it's like if you got your hands up, hands down. So if y'all don't know, the story is he put his hands up, the Israelites was winning. When he put his hands down, the Israelites started losing. And so sometimes when you have all these bipolar things going on in your life, it is a way for you to remember the praise is what puts you in the right direction so that the good things continue to happen. So I'm gonna put that story. I'm gonna put that story down, the verses, and there's another story. Jesus when I'll put it down there in the caption, and then I'm going to delete this app again. So if you need me, DM me. I do check the app on my computer once a day. I got a lot of stuff to do. A lot of stuff I got going on. So I ain't on here right now. But I love y'all. And if you love me, if I've ever prayed for you, pray for me. Because I'm praying for you. I love y'all so much. BTS members, I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. January 2025. We got some big things on the horizon. And I love y'all. Have a great day. So even though I told everybody not to reach out to me, they did. When I tell y'all, so many people is going through it financially right now. Now, my story is a little different. Personal things, this wild stuff is happening. But the finances is not financing either. It's just is what it is. But when I tell y'all, nobody's talking about this. Everybody, I'm going to tell y'all 3 stories, okay? The first person that called me, actually, their call was welcome because this person I do talk to regularly. And this person has a business services business. And I don't want to share because I don't need y'all narrowing down who it is. And they was like, they have a business services business, so they work with a lot of business owners. And they were like, yo, you have no idea the season that we're in right now. Everybody's calling me talking about like, I messed my business up. He's like, I talked to this one lady and she was like, how did I get here? I want to kill myself. Literally, like, I want to kill myself. And so it's been in my mind for a while now that the economy is going through a recession, but they're not saying it. They're not letting it get public. Here is my conspiracy theory. So really quickly, before I tell you what my conspiracy theory is, this really confirmed it. I'm a part of this high-level finance community. It's not my community. I'm in someone else's community. It's a high-level finance community, like some super brainiacs in there. Like, and it was a pretty penny. It was a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money. And God just worked out so that I could get in there because I did not have this money. And so one of the guys in the group said, today, we were on a call, he said, the government outlawed bear markets. Bear markets are outlawed, basically. Like, the government will not let the economy, it won't let the economy go in a negative way. It's going to continue to prop it up. And I've been saying this for a while. They do anything to control the economy right now. Like, they're going above and beyond to do this. And I think it's because we're actually in a cold war with China. So, like, if they find out that we're in a bear market, like, this is my conspiracy theory, okay? Don't be like, Nicole said this. BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. They are ready to feast on us alive. If they find out that we are not in a strong economy, when I tell you, they coming. And listen, I don't get into politics. I was able to support Kamala because she supported me, But at the end of the day, I'm on side that on the place where I live. So thank goodness we got a completely delusional person that's willing to take on this cold war that we in. But as a result, right, I'm nor pro or against Trump. That's my thoughts. Let him loose on bricks. Okay, that's all I want to say. Let the madman loose on bricks. Let him go. But as a result, I just want to say that y'all need to be really mindful of the fact that the economy is economying. And when the economy economies, inferior products do really well. Not saying that apartments are inferior products, but they're inferior to buying a house. And so we're about to move into a magical time, a super magical time. Let me get back to that post that I made. So my first homeboy was like, yeah, everybody going through it. Like, it's real bad out here. Then I talked to somebody else, one of my really, really, really good friends. I'm not going to obviously say this person's name, and I'm going to share with you what she said to me because this may help you out. She said, hey, I just saw your post and it's one of the reasons I love you. I just wanted to say that praying for you as always and sending some extra love your way. So I said, thank you. How you doing? She said, life be lifing, but I'm grateful to be in a better place than I was this time last year. And then I said, I'm so happy for you. She said, thanks. I really appreciate it. Lots of things to work on and still working through some challenges. But if you ever want to talk, let me know. So I said, thank you so much. I would have never known. We often live in these bubbles and assume everyone is doing well, and we are just the anomaly. How did you turn your situation around? How did you get a better place to handle things? Now, this is what I wanted you to see. So she said, I think it was kind of threefold. 1, the grace of God. 2, really putting my faith in practice and surrendering. And 3, feels like it goes against surrendering, but leaning into momentum. Like the momentum, something felt even slightly better and less desperate or hopeless. I think it's some typos there. I tried to build on it. Also getting some perspective. Like one of my issues was cash flow was at its lowest point because I was paying staff the same rate during the slower times, dealing with additional tax issues. And then also what she said, I want y'all to narrow it down. So I got to leave that part out. Your girl was down bad. And I remember going to dinner with such and such in shambles. I don't want to say that person. That person's actually famous, the person that they went to dinner with. And the rest of it is irrelevant to you. But these 3 things I want to point out if you are going through it financially or in your business. You might not be going through it financially. Maybe you're just difficult to get momentum or whatever. If you're just going through it, these 3 things I think is so important. The grace of God. So that's gratitude right there. Being in a space of gratitude. Because I'm going to tell you at the onset of my stuff, it wasn't that I didn't have gratitude, but I had this entitlement. Hey, this shouldn't be happening to me. And it's conscious and subconscious. And when you have the entitlement, you can't have entitlement and gratitude at the same time. Then she said, really putting my faith in practice and surrendering. You can't have entitlement and surrender. That's what our relationship with God is all about. Trusting him and surrendering. And that was something that I struggled with. Like, really, that's another thing too. Like, you can't accept where you are unless you're surrendered. So if you're entitled and you're frustrated about where you are, you can't get to a point of fixing it because you haven't accepted where you are. And then she said, feels like it goes against surrendering, but leaning into momentum. And then when I ended up talking to her, and so she went in depth about how you have to have this irrational sense of leaning into momentum. There may be a million bad things happening, but focusing on that one good thing, just focusing on that and then just like building on that momentum. I was like, yeah. Which brings me to my next point. I just want to say I'm so excited and so grateful for new members of the God Goals and Money community. Y'all, I'm just so grateful. let me give y'all some context about this community and what it is. So some years ago, before starting Better Than Success, I had did this business accelerator. I poured my heart and soul into it. So this is like 2015. I poured my heart and soul into it, and it flopped. I sold a couple courses, and it just devastated me, and I kind of moved away from that. And then over the past year, I was so moved to, and that's a whole long story, it's an episode in itself. God downloaded this information because I was restructuring my business and restructuring my brain. As I was getting clarity, I decided to document, like, hey, you've been an entrepreneur for 15 years. This is not the first time that you've been here. Let's make sure that we don't got to fumble our way through this. Hey, if you were talking to someone, what would you do? How would you outline all the things you have to do in order to get to success, get to a stable place? And so I made this outline. It was for myself. And the outline, I started really taking what I understood about scripture, because the place you move from, the mental place that you move or take an action from, is just important as the action itself. Two people can do the same thing. If one person has one state of mind and the other person has a different state of mind, the person that's in the right state of mind will win and the other person won't. And so I mapped it all out for myself. And everything that I mapped out, it just so happened to coincide with the three most talked about things in the Bible. And it's a reason why these things are most talked about. God himself, goals, which I break down to mean the kingdom, covenants, promises, or a goal that someone had. There are so many talks about promises in the kingdom, because the kingdom is God's goal. Our Father, thou art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy will be done. Thy kingdom come on earth as is done in heaven. So God, Jesus tells us, pray and say, hey, God, I want your goal to happen, which is your kingdom to be done on earth as it is in heaven. So God, goals, and money. Money is talked about a lot. There are over 2,350 scriptures about money in the scriptures. Okay, money is talked about a whole lot. So those are the three things that you're going to have to, if you want to automate your income, get clarity in your business, and move with purpose, you have to focus on those three things. And so I outlined everything for myself, and then some kind of way, I don't even know. I wish I can tell you between the outline and how we got a whole entire course with 45 modules that walks you through everything you got to do to get clarity in your business. Restructure your brain so that you can have clarity, and then restructure your business so that you can move with intention. And there's about 20 workbooks in it. And I am so grateful that this new product, there are new people in the course. I'm so grateful. Y'all, let's go. Let's go. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm doing all the principles. I did these principles before to have all the successes that I've had in the past. I'm doing these principles to raise $15 million in this fund. To a point where, I'm going to go back to this. The community that I'm in, that high level, really expensive community, I'm doing all these principles in some kind of way. God made it so that I can split the community, this money. It just so happened the community for all three of us is 11, a total is 34,000. So you divide that by 3, 11,000 and some change. My portion was covered. Just don't even worry about it. I'll tell you the story later. But my portion ended up being covered. In addition to selling to accelerators. Because I'm using the principle in the accelerators. I promise you I'm not doing nothing no different. So I'm really excited. If you want to learn more about the God Goals and Money Income Accelerator, it is on sale. It's normally $2,500. Right now it's $999, and there is a payment plan. I would love to have you in it. You'll get, if you're a member of the community, you'll get the self-paced modules, and you'll get access to our every other Thursdays. And I'm really excited. I am really excited. So there you go. I got a lot of momentum things that I can be building on. We got our first investor in our fund. We had some meetings with some people to run our fund by, and they like really love this idea, this niche market that I came up with, and it's people that's got money and they like super jacking our idea, my idea, but it's our idea. The guy Noel and Art, who I'm doing my fund with, I love those guys. And yeah, there's that. So actually, I'm running out of time. On the next episode of this, I promise I'll put it out next week. I'm gonna share some of the journal gems, and I know. So just give y'all some context. Part of the God Goals and Money system, the productivity system, is a 4-journal system. So you need to have 4 journals in order to keep your thoughts clear. And in the journals, it sounds like a lot of work, but I promise you it's not. In the journals, I'm pulling out different things that I put in the journals throughout the week, and I share them. They're just my pure gems. And so I do it in the newsletter. If you want to sign up for the newsletter, I send it out once a week. If you want to sign up for the newsletter, actually, I'm going to give y'all one thing that's in the newsletter. This is so crazy. I am actually a stakeholder in a non-real estate related business. I'm behind the scenes. I'm super behind the scenes. It's called the App Accelerator. And this program teaches entrepreneurs how to scale their business using apps, even if they have no technical skills and very little money. Like, so y'all be hearing stories about people spending $150,000 on apps and this and that. This ain't that. Our founder has this bomb system for teaching anybody at any financial level how to build the app that they want to scale their business, their existing business. It's crazy. And so do you know that Robert F. Smith, billionaire, this is the guy who, remember Morehouse, he gave the speech and he paid everybody's tuition. He paid all their student loans off. That guy. Robert F. Smith endorsed her on LinkedIn out of nowhere. He endorsed her and our business. It's her business, but I'm a stakeholder, so it's our business, okay? I am like so excited for her. So journal gems like that, I shared, some insight, but yeah, it's actually, it is not like that. That's just one anomaly of one of the things that I bragged on, but most of it is things that can help you out. So like I have ChatGPT prompts that really help me out. A book that I'm reading, like right now I'm reading Ray Dalio Principles, things that's really helping me out that I feel like can help you out too. All right, this episode is way longer than it should have been, but it's all type of gaming here. So I love y'all. I want y'all to have a great day, and we'll be back next week.
All right. Let's go. Yes. Can never play a part, y'all start. So real, it's all so live. It's better than success from the east to the west. Worldwide, it's all so live. Yes. Knowledge seeming vast, politicking over cash. This podcast is all so live. It's better than success from the east to the west. It's worldwide, it's all so live. Roll it down. BTS Connect, stay busy. You know now, only less enlightened like who is she? It's Nikki. Tell your mind bound to drop a gem on you. What you hear it now, puts it down like the signature. Run and hit it, yeah. A business mind frame exhibitor. Ain't no pitting ya against the modern style literature. Beyond expenditure, I give you something that'll stick with you forever. Better than success, nothing better. You know the flavor. You never play a part, y'all star. So real and all so live. Yes. It's better than success from the east to the west. It's worldwide and all so live. Yeah, now. Knowledge seeming vast, politicking over cash. This podcast is all so live. It's better than success from the east to the west. It's worldwide and all so live. So now what you gon' do? It's so real, it's all so live. It's better than success from the east to the west. Worldwide and all so live. Yeah, it's better than success. It's all Scott. Yeah. Let's go.